I'm DJ Diya Anantharaman, music director and radio host of An Earthly Machine at KUCR Riverside 88.3, and I'm here with the wonderful Kim band members Laura, Jessica, and Bradley. They recently released their single titled Madam under Zum Audio's fifth volume in August, and another single titled Alive earlier this month. They're here with me today to chat. Good evening, Kim. It is so good to see you all. How are you folks doing on this lovely October evening?
Good.
Great.
Perfect. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing lovely. Yeah. Let's start from the beginning. I did some digging and learned that you all met through a mutual friend named Fauna with a mission to make scary, sludgy music. Can you each tell me a little bit about your background in music and what types of music you grew up listening to and playing before this band got together?
Yeah. You want to start an answer?
Yeah. I have been playing I just love to play heavy music. And I started out growing up playing jazz, and now I use a lot of that to play stuff I love to listen to now, like heavy rock. I actually don't know Fauna, that origin story. I met these guys later.
Okay.
So I'll have to touch on that.
Yeah, Fauna was my roommate at the time, and I hadn't been in a band for a little bit, and I was like really itching to play. And I was like, I really want to play music. And she's like, what kind of music? And I was like scary music, just like really scary music. And she's like, I have a friend. And she introduced me to Bradley. And then we started playing. And then Bradley knew Laura.
Yeah, we just recently met.
Yeah.
And Laura had a practice space. So we just jammed, and it was magic. When I was like a teenager, I grew up in LA, and I worked at this movie theater, and we used to be able to, after hours, practice in the production room. It was really cool. And that was where I started playing with people. I was in various kind of dumb bands. And then I moved to Chicago, and I played really sludgy, kind of weird, we called it like outsider sludge. I don't know how else you would describe it.
Yeah.
And it was a duo, and I played with that band for a very long time, and it was really fun. And then I moved to New York, and I played a little bit with some friends. And then when I moved to the Bay, we just started playing, and it was like magic. So then we've never stopped since.
Just like an intuitive connection.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I had also not been playing in like this type of band for a while. I was playing with a friend of mine, Oliver, who plays in a project called Elvis on Velvets, and it's like a dancing kind of thing. And I was playing like a Casio, and but like needed to be loud and like guitar and fuzzy, and so yeah, Jess and I, when we got together, we would just play the two of us, just kind of like super full volume. I don't know, just improv, sludgy, drummy stuff, and it was really fun.
Definitely. So there are some really interesting thematic elements across your music, culture, mythology, the ordeals of being alive, etc., all funneled into this scary sound that encapsulates Kim. Do you consider the scariness of your music to be another type of catharsis, and what do you think makes your sound scary?
I feel like you gotta like start that one. The catharsis.
Yeah, I mean, I've always seen music, when I mean like my own personal playing of music, as a kind of catharsis, almost like an exorcism maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like there's that whole theory behind like the primal scream therapy. And when I was younger and playing music, just being able to make noises with both the guitar and my voice that was reflective of something that I was feeling, whether it be anger, kind of like whatever, audioized. That's the right. That's not the right word, or it's not a word, but I'm making a word. Materialized in the sonic domain.
There we go.
Is really how it was just like, it was the best I've ever felt. And that continues to be true. On a personal level, I think like playing with these two like allows us to like the music and the sound gets to come together, and like then thematically we explore these themes in the songs, and like I don't know, that's
it's also just like playing live. It's a whole connection, and we love that part of it for sure. I get lost every time we play.
Possession even.
Yes.
Yes.
for sure. Possession, catharsis, exorcism. Maybe it's like the whole, it's like possession, exorcism, catharsis, you know?
It's like reinventing samsara.
Yeah. I feel like it's a good way to like think about the horrors of this world that we live in, and to like digest it and then spit it back out, you know? Like it's like, how do you make sense of it? You can kind of like it, especially since so much of it, I mean, war, hell, like capitalism, all this stuff is really unfathomable, right? And it's such a, you know, so I think that's kind of how we think about stuff like that.
Yeah,
certainly. Yeah, I definitely see both sonic and thematic gothic influences in your work, especially on your latest single. Can you tell me a bit more about your guys' lyric writing process? Does it start as poetry, feverish notebook scribbles, dream journal entries, etc.?
It always starts with a story, that's for sure. A horrific situation that we try to create, that we're like, okay, what's the narrative? Like we try that for the whole songwriting process. It's kind of like part of what we're creating, also just the vibe, but the lyrics along with it. Speaking of scribbled, we have some like actual scribbled lyrics on the wall back there.
A lot.
Wow. We have an artifact.
An artifact,
Yeah.
This is our practice space. That's definitely right. Like we'll come with an idea of a story that's either referencing some mythological thing or some historical thing, or some just like general vibe of a situation.
Like some frightening idea.
Yeah, something really frightening. Like with Alive, I think we're like, okay, I think we kind of started and we're like, I want something that's this overwhelming bodily feeling of paranoia and fear and like desire all kind of like blended into one. Like what can that feeling be? So it's like this feeling first, then the narrative kind of started to emerge from it, and then that song's really special because both Bradley and I sing together on it, and we don't really have any other songs like that. So we also collaborated on the lyric writing, which was great. And you brought in the lyrics, and then we kind of like, you know, we tried singing it to like a different melody. We were trying to figure out melody is a weird word, but we were trying to figure out how to sing it with the music. And then we had to change a couple of things, and then we ended up, it just really vibed. But then other things will be like, we have a song about Nero. And I was just really taken by his story forever, and I've been like interested. We think about the Roman Empire a lot, you know, as they talk about. So I was like really, really astounded by this story, and I was like, oh, we should just write a song about it. It's kind of perfect for our time, like an autocrat, like indulging as the world burns around us. I was like, perfect. So so we kind of just use the actual story to like get the vibes of the music, and then the lyrics for that one were just like highlights from his life and these sort of like images that I would get kind of stuck in my head, that then as we would like perform the song, they would just kind of come out. And then, you know, as when we record, we'd have to like kind of clean everything up, but
comes together like that sometimes.
Yeah, that reminds me. I definitely like the music video you guys released for your earlier song, Nero, as well as the clip for your latest track, Alive. I noticed that across videos and photos, there's a generous amount of imagery containing lips and wine glasses and the color red, as well as generally sort of indulgent and sensual motifs like sharp teeth and gathering around a table for a feast. Can you guys tell me a little bit more about these image choices and how they function in tandem with the themes of your discography?
Ooh,
Good question.
really good question. Well, really, that song is kind of in the end about being eaten alive.
Yeah.
And kind of like the story became about a kidnapping. It's unclear. They're like by a monster, maybe they're human, maybe they're not. Perfect for now, Halloween times. And that's kind of where it came from, is like, oh, okay, if you're gonna like kind of eat someone alive, and it's like almost consensual.
Yeah,
almost.
I was talking to my friend, and he was like, I write a story and it's all about like cannibalism as a metaphor for love. And I was like, I really understand that.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, yeah, well, you know, I think it started out by being like, oh, we're really interested in this feeling of being so paranoid and this like this fearful feeling. And so we were really thinking of like when someone's following you in a car, like looking back in your rearview mirror and like that horrible feeling. And then we kind of got from that feeling to this story that was like, oh, it's like Psycho. And then it was like, you know, the movie. And then it was like, you know, like, so, and then we kind of started to be like, well, what if the person following this other person were like a duo, who were like, you know, these kind of like starts and stops. So they're paranoid and then they meet this person. And then there's kind of like desire to wrapped up in feeling like what happens then and what happens when you find out the people that you desire are actually monsters who are trying to eat you. And in a beautiful feast environment. They have it all. At least they're gonna wine and dine you a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like even like our previous stuff, like all the red and the lips and the thing, like even our like logo was written in lipstick on a mirror, which is really funny. I think part of it too is like we started thinking about the band Kim because we were like, oh, the word Kim could be an acronym. It's also all these people. It's also this like Kim is like a lot of things and it's kind of vague. And so we started compiling all these different Kims that could be like referencing the band. Yeah. And we got to this idea of like, what if this person who's like obsessed with Kim as like this idea and has this altar to Kim? And so we started making it for one of our videos, and that started to kind of kick off the red and the themes of obsession, the themes of like a little bit of paranoia, obsession, worship, fear, worship. Yeah, just these kinds of extremes of human experience.
Yeah.
This is a Kim.
Yeah, this is a Kim. This is Hurricane Kim. Right here behind us.
Oh, I see what you did. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm getting is that it's very much the grotesque side of passion and love. Yeah.
And like life. Life is kind of gross. Living is gross a little bit.
Yeah.
Both physical and an emotional, intellectual, like life just generally is kind of filled with all sorts of gross feelings and things.
Prolonged decay, all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. When I was listening through some of your discography, I noticed a mix of musical influences. Some tracks like Fauna and Alive reminded me of Sonic Youth, while others like Madame and Nero are definitely doomier and sludgier, which I love. What are some of the main inspirations for this project, your upcoming album? This could be other music, media, literature, mythos, spiritual occurrences, etc.
We're always just trying to write the darkest, heaviest thing and focus on the narratives.
Yeah.
So we have some other cool ones on the record. I like Spitfire's narrative.
Oh yeah. Spitfire is a song that we wrote. It's off the new record, and it's kind of, it took the name from this wolf that was
Shot in Montana, right? Or
in
Yellowstone.
She was a mama wolf, and she was like from this, like endangered or something.
Well, they were just like, you know, it's a limited, there's limited packs, and
Yeah.
she was like, you know, a pack leader, and she was wrongfully killed.
She was, killed and shot in Yellowstone, and there was like, you know, there was articles about it, and so we both had seen the article, I think, and we both were like, Spitfire is such a great name, and then we were just kind of like thinking of this narrative of this lone wolf, mama wolf, and again, we think about the Roman Empire all the time, so I was thinking about the story of the she-wolf, suckling Romulus and Remus as like, that's the beginning story of Rome, and what a weird thing that really is. Again, the grotesque is so weird. And so I was just kind of like thinking about linking this like murder of a wolf in this in Yellowstone in this moment, you know, in this sort of 2020s time, back to this, you know, back to antiquity and this mythos, like the creation of this, you know, this Roman Empire, this sort of proto-republic that is so influential in our current United States nation. And this sort of bookending of like this sort of facade of Western civilization and the facade of this sort of decaying of it, really. And like you see the wolf comes, like starts it and she ends it, and it's kind of this like, circular loop, which then inspired how we actually created the song.
I forgot about that.
The idea was like the song itself structurally is actually like, we were thinking of it as like an Ouroboros, like it starts and ends exactly same way. So it's hard to play live as a result because it's weirdly technical. But like it's all about, loop. Exactly. Like you keep on seeing the same stories, you keep on seeing the same characters,
the same cycles.
Exactly. And like that was kind of the idea behind it. So that was like a pretty interesting one. We have another song about the ghosts of the girls that Freud worked on and studied on, and you know, did all of this weird stuff with, and the girls that were his patients essentially, and the ghosts of the girls like haunting us to go back in time and kill Freud. That's one of my faves. And so there's definitely like psychoanalysis is definitely part of our themes and influences the Roman Empire. I think sonically, like I mean I grew up playing and loving punk, so there was like a lot of punk in my background. I was like a riot girl, so I love Bikini Kill, and I think that like I'm so influenced by the sounds that Kathleen Hanna would make in some of those early records. It blew my mind how she could make herself sound so cool and amazing and beautiful and like pretty, and then in the same breath like these horrible like gagging awful noises that were like incredible. And like I think about that still to this day, and there are in a lot of our songs. Sonic Youth I love doom music, heavy sludgy stuff, Trick Wizard,
I like noise,
all that stuff. I like also a lot of like droney, more ambient kind of stuff too, especially stuff that mixes all that up, like that new Uboa record. It's so good and so weird and so creepy and mysterious, and just like so many textures, and like it's just a journey. I love
industrial. I think we have been influenced and inspired by a lot recently too.
Totally.
A lot of that early like Susie and the Banshee stuff we were just listening to together.
I definitely hear like that kind of trad goth influence in a lot of your music with the drums and the guitar riffs and all of that, some of the chord choices and all of that. That's really interesting to me. Speaking of the Roman Empire, I don't know if you guys have seen the influx of memes about like, oh, what's my boyfriend thinking about? Is it the Roman Empire? I don't know. I figured you guys would probably enjoy that.
That was why I mentioned it. Like, absolutely. We've been like, gotta post something about this, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that was funny. But yeah, let's talk gear. What would you say is currently the most essential piece of gear to Kim's particular sound?
I have it right here.
Oh.
I mean, for me, it's, I just love this thing. It's like, it's a Hofner. I never played a Hofner before. I loved all of the weird like inlays and
Yeah, it's beautiful.
and like it just looked kind of weird and sci-fi to me.
Yeah.
It was also like on the wall at the shop in Berkeley, and immediately struck me like there was eye contact happening somehow
Across the room.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
flowy. And like when I bought it, the guy that was working there was like, "Oh, that thing that's been on the wall like since I started working here like 6 years ago."
Wow.
And so that made me love it even more because it was like dejected.
Yeah. Had a backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I also added these. Yeah, these dots.
Oh yeah. Are those studs?
It's just paints.
Oh, cool. Wow.
What else gear wise?
I got the Fuzz War pedal by Death Maiden Audio, which really changed our lives, I think.
Yeah, it's a great pedal. We're just big fuzz on Jess's guitar.
Yeah.
And then
cozy blanket.
Yeah, totally. That's kind of a big part of the sound that we love.
I got a new guitar.
You did get a new guitar,
which is great because I had been playing the same guitar since I was in 8th grade. And I got a Hagstrom with humbucker pickups, which is awesome. So it's like a 70s guitar, and it's really awesome. I think it's the same one Pat Smear plays.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think he plays. I know he plays a Hagstrom. I think it's the same one as I do with the humbucker pickups. But yeah. And you got new drums.
I did, but it's all for me. It's like about the big toms. I want my toms to be like humongous, big old things, and so I did just get some really big drums, and I love playing the oversized kit.
Yeah. Yeah, just like that big kind of roomy sound. I noticed that a lot of this is quite reverberant, actually. I don't know if you guys put like pedals on there for reverb, but I just noticed how roomy and encapsulating a lot of his recordings are, and I'm like, that's really admirable. That's really interesting.
Thanks. Yeah. We're definitely going for that. So
yeah.
We also have vocal pedals. I guess that's part of the reverby sound.
Yeah.
Both Bradley and I have the vocal pedals. Which ones are those called?
Like I don't know. They're old TC Helicon or something like that. They're fun. They make everything sound that much better.
Absolutely. And we have a great person to record us. Who does a lot of work. Yeah, my partner records all of our stuff. And they sound amazing, and he's great, Ross Harris. So, yeah.
He's our
Yeah, exactly.
Lastly, if you were each stranded on a desert island and could only take 3 pieces of gear with you, what would they be and why?
Of gear?
Yeah, 3 pieces of gear.
Or no?
Say it again?
Do you have an amplifier or no?
That would count as a piece of gear. So if you have a particular amp, that would be part of your 3.
Does the head and body count, or like does the cab and head count as one?
Let's go with 1.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'm gonna go with, I don't know if I'm gonna break the rules with some of these things because drums is hard, but floor tom, bass drum, snare drum. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, there's your 3.
Cymbals. I was like, and hi-hat, but then that's 4.
Then
I guess it would have to be bass, snare, and hi-hat. To
Classic.
Keep it fun. Yeah, classic. Yeah.
Goodbye, Tom.
Yeah.
Farewell.
I know, but that floor tom, maybe I bring that and it could be bass and.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, totally.
What about you? I don't know.
I think I would bring some kind of like something I don't understand. Like it's kind of weird, complicated synth or something that has like a million settings, so that I can just
Oh my God, true.
I'm thinking modular.
Yeah,
So true. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about it. I was like thinking about my role in the band, and I was like, I guess you got to bring drums, but no,
Mhm.
I probably would bring synths too.
Mhm.
You're right.
Drum synths, perhaps. Adds a new
Totally.
dimension. There we go.
We could trade on our desert islands.
Are we all together?
Ooh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know, what else are you gonna bring?
And then I guess I don't know, because I don't really like playing guitar without effects, you know.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't even know there's a point. I'm not gonna play an acoustic guitar. It's hard. Maybe I would like just start playing saxophone or something.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Just
saxophone.
something new, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Sing, saxophone. Oh, like a big gong.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Get, you know, the
Very
ship's
ball.
attention.
Yeah.
I just saw Boris not too long ago, so it's like
Yeah,
they had the big
Same.
gong, and I was like,
that was definitely did that, yeah. Damn. I might bring a bass actually, because I feel like I want to practice bass more.
Yeah.
I don't, because I play bass in a couple songs, but mostly I play guitar. And so I use the time to really get up on my skills.
Mm.
And then you need less pedals in here, right? With the
Mhm.
bass, in my opinion. So I might bring a bass and a piano and a like big cab setup, but not dissimilar from what I have,
Sitting right here.
which is this Mesa Boogie giant bass head and like a big cab,
Mhm.
like
Dramatic.
yeah, like absurd, huge.
Absurd,
So
yeah.
then I could just blow. Maybe someone would hear me in the middle of nowhere, or feel the
Rattle the
bass.
island.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Mhm.
Something like that. And then the piano, because like it's really fun to like write little melodies and like things, and I think
Yeah,
piano sound really
definitely.
cool together. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you all so much for chatting with me. This has been great. I've learned so much about your process. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much
Appreciate
for
it.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah.